The official Dream Team consists of myself, Chop Diesel,
Dean,
and Joey Lightfingers.
as you can see, I'm from the A.
I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. Jersey City, New Jersey.
I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. Duncan Project.
What do I contribute to the sound of the team? Being with my church background, starting off playing the drums for many years, and then I started playing the organ. And I got into production or whatever, and I just applied what I learned in playing in church for many years to that, and I just developed this soulful sound. So I bring like more of the soulful aspect to what we do.
Well, what I contribute to the sound of the team is, I mean, I also came from a church background as well. I pretty much, I'm from East Atlanta, so I'm from the South, so a lot of heavy bass, things like that. Sometimes they would call me the white guy of the group because I listen to some of everything. So I try to, mix it up a little bit. I have an international background, so I listen to some of everything from, the trap to the world music. So I try to mix it up. So that's pretty much what I bring to the team.
What I bring to the sound of the team is the hip hop element, as well as the technical side, the software, the instruments, the computers, the mixing, all those type of things. You know what I mean? Giving it a sound, sonically the right sound, make it not.
His mixes is retarded.
Dream Team.
Most music is missing feel. Like I noticed that most records that come out that have a feel to it, like people just automatically gravitate to. You know what I'm saying? Any songs that you can really dance to, you can gravitate to. But everything is just sounding the same, pretty much. That's no disrespect to nobody, because they all talented in their own right. You know what I'm saying? But it's just missing a little.
Yeah, the musicality is missing in a lot of it. No, the musical element is out of it. It's more, sonics and bass heavy and all that driven. It's not really a lot of musical arrangements and things of that nature. I think we kind of bring that element along with the trendy sounding stuff of today, but we put our spin on it and give it more of a, a musical sound versus it just being just a typical pots and pans sounding beats.
Oh yeah.
As far as with us, we're producers, but we're real musicians as well. So besides all the plug-ins and this MIDI here and acoustic instruments, we actually can fluently play. So not taking nothing against people that that don't know how to play anything like that. I just feel as though that I take more pride in somebody that can actually physically play it versus somebody that just drag and drop and click and stuff like that. So that's just my own personal opinion, but nothing against them. Everybody comes to it.
Some producers that don't play anything, and
they're just
they
as
drag
good.
and drop, but they know how to do it because they your ear is like one of your most valuable assets into being a producer.
Right.
Yeah, the musician side of it. If you understand music, you're a musician. If you know how to put music together, it makes you, you're a musician.
Yeah.
Okay? But I think with the software, it's a gift and a curse. If you have that ability and you're able to use that technology, it advances it further.
Yeah,
that's what it was created for. It wasn't created for people that didn't know how to do anything to do it. It was to advance and make the job easier. Just like Serato for DJs. They didn't make it so anybody can DJ. They made it easier for the real DJ to go to parties without having to carry 30 crates of records. You know what I mean? It's just that in the process, that's what anything. It's going to be a gift and a curse. It's going to be an upside and a downside. They made it easier. What happens when you make it easier? That means anybody, your mother could come. You know what? I'm doing a party tomorrow night. I got my iPod. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier across the board. That's just the way of the world. You know what I'm saying? The music industry is just a small part of the world. Our creative process, coming up with tracks and ideas and stuff, it varies. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might come up with an entire beat. Lightfingers might come up with an entire beat. Dean the same thing. Or sometimes, I may lay a foundation. He may add an element. He may add an element that we all come together to finalize the end result. But it happens different ways because we all individually inspired by different things, and Sometimes we work collectively, sometimes we work individually, and just pull our ideas together. But so, I mean, it can happen either way.
Yeah.
Email or versus working in the studio with the artist, I would say definitely working with the artist. Because now, like, you may have a track, sometimes you have a track, and when you email it to an artist, they're going to interpret it the way they interpret it, or whatever the case may be. But when you're with the artist, it's like your chemistry is together. So you get your point across, the artist get their point across, and you put it in a pot and mix it together, and the record becomes like, you get what I'm saying? You're giving your sound the artist with the artist sound. Because as a producer, anyway, you're supposed to hear.
And you're producing a record.
There you go.
That's the key. You can't produce a record if you're not in the studio with the artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
basically.
That's where beat making and producers coming in. You know, there's a lot of beat makers and they're not in the studio with the artist producing a record, so
yeah,
they don't even know how to be a producer if you're not. They may have the ability. Let me take that back, but they may have the ability, but a lot of records aren't being produced. We're sending the beats to a lot of artists, and they're just doing the records on their own. So it's no.
That means you're a beat maker.
Yeah, it's no. It's no communication. It's no. It's no vibing together, coming up with an idea. Take that hook out, try another hook. It's none of that back and forth that used to exist in every record you ever heard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, I mean, be a little biased because I'm a little older, is that I think music then, because those elements was there, it was different. I mean, that's just like in life. I feel like, in the earlier part of times, kids weren't wild and crazy as much because it was more supervision. You had, next door neighbor would, chastise your child sometimes. Yeah. Whereas they running amok now. And it's the same thing. The same principles apply with the music business and with music in general. It's just a free-for-all. Anybody can join. Anybody can be a producer. Anybody can be a singer. Anybody, there's no prerequisite. It's just, if you come in the room, go in the room and download some software, you make a beat, I'm a producer. You got a beat on the CD, boom. So it's like the same kind of theory and principle. I think it kind of, it takes away from what could be the best possible record sometimes. Then sometimes, maybe the artist just come do it and come up with a hit. Right. It's less likely, I believe. I believe that's, everybody plays a job, and a part in that job is we're the producers, let us produce you. You're the artist, write the song, come up with the ideas you have, and let's put it together. And let's put everybody back in their respective roles, producers, artists, singers, songwriters, everybody do what they should do.
I prefer the commercial. Nothing against the independent artists.
Don't listen.
But
if you got that brown paper bag with that money in it,
you can be independent or whatever, that's why I just said nothing against.
Nah, it's not always about that either. Also,
it does play a role though.
It's stupid. It's the quality of the artist. If it's a dope artist, he could be independent, no budget, no nothing, everything. He's dope.
Yeah.
And we just feel the vibe, we feel the music, and it's no amount of money that can make you like that. Yeah. You work with somebody give you $1 million. We work with artists, major label. I'm leaving them all nameless, but we work with people that was garbage, and the check didn't really add up to the aggravation, the attitude, the arrogance, and all that you had to put up with and deal with, and the candles in the studio and bare feet walking and all types of stuff. So it don't really matter. My thing is the connection musically and the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like to be a successful and a big producer, you know what I'm saying, production team or producer in the game, if you just do the research, they put it all into an artist. You know what I'm saying? If you take Dr. Dre had NWA, he had, Easy, he had Snoop Dogg, he had something to put a whole collage of music and a project together where you can see who they was. So you need artists and you need that chemistry and that connection. You know what I mean? Anybody you take, Timbaland, Missy, Aaliyah, anybody you can think of that's that level of a producer. That's the formula to have an artist that you have a connection with, and your music, gets out to the people, and they just like the whole, catalog what you're doing.
Yeah.
Who are some of our musical inspirations? I would say Earth, Wind & Fire, for one. Like I can go even to Phil Collins. I can go to help me out, fellas. Who?
Sting.
Yeah, Sting definitely.
The group Chicago.
Kool and the Gang.
James Brown.
Yeah,
James
definitely.
Brown.
Funkadelic. Can't forget
Stevie.
somebody who we got the opportunity to work with, Teddy Riley.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Teddy Riley.
Teddy is like
Most
definitely.
definitely.
His whole era, like every producer, I think, should go back and definitely study that.
And the usual, the Dr. Dre, the DJ
Yeah,
Premier,
Dr. Dre, yeah.
Kanye West, Timbaland, you can't forget them.
No, you can't.
Not at all.
And Rico Love is like, he dope. He really
Yeah.
He's dope. How was it when we worked with our first major big artist? And who was it? I would say LL Cool J. Yeah, it was an experience, because, growing up watching him and then finally, you know what I'm saying, just getting to work with him, and never thought that would happen in a million years, but, watching I'm Bad, all the rappers know when I entered the center, they say, you know what I'm saying, like, to work in the studio with him was, like, crazy. That was an amazing thing to, I would say, to be a part of.
Some of the artists that we would like to work with, I would say Chris Brown, Rich Homie Quan, Future, Ross most definitely, Meek Mills, Wale.
The greatest of all time, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Oh yeah, definitely that.
Definitely Beyonce.
We can work with anybody.
Really anybody
we
from
anybody, so.
Yeah, from Taylor Swift to,
Katy Perry.
Yeah, Katy Perry, Ed Sheeran.
I don't know who the hell that is.
I do. I'm the white guy out of the group. I'm white,
so
hey, it is what it is.
We basically we have the ability to work with
Anybody. Any genre, from gospel to pop to R&B. You name it, it can be done. If we don't have it, it can be made.
Anything.
Jazz.
We can do that. I mean, that's a blessing to be able to transcend too.
Exactly.
When the sound changes, being able to shift with it. You know what I'm saying? And still maintain what you bring, the soul that you, and the feeling that you put in those records. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a blessing to have that ability. So we, thank God for that.
Sampling, to me, every idea comes from somewhere. Nothing is new under the sun. So I mean, even if we can sit here all day long and play the keys. It came from somewhere. Yeah. It ain't but so many chords on the keys. So you're gonna borrow something from somewhere. I mean, just taking a straight sample and just adding some kicks and snares on top of it, I don't think that's cool anymore. Everybody's past that level, and as far as the advancement of the game, I just think that if you do it, just do it and be creative with it. You know what I'm saying? When you sample, just the days of taking the sample, looping it, and adding a snare and hi-hat and going and 808 and it's over.
That's
gone.
That's over.
You still gotta be creative and finding, samples, challenge people, find samples that people don't know where that came from. There's records that we listen to right now, a lot of people don't know that they're samples because they're not popular records. They weren't popular records in the 70s or 60s or wherever they came from. Right. So, you know what I mean? So that's another thing. Just if you do it, just try to be obscure and try to freak it or, alter it in a way that is creative and it's something new.
I love it. I mean, sometimes, that may be the hit that we, trying to make. I said, you never know.
And creating, sometimes when you creative, it's like painting a picture. You got an artist paint a picture, whatever the case may be. So he uses whatever he basically can that's on his canvas to paint that picture and get his point across. You know what I'm saying? So sampling is definitely like a technique that that is, I would say, very good.
And clear them.
Yeah. Make sure you clear your samples. You don't want that problem.
It's costly.
You don't want that problem.